Our patient today is a 60s Gibson Classical that had been taken to one of the local retail music stores that also does repairs. Then it was brought in to me with a complaint that the bridge was coming off and it wouldn't stay in tune. So let's take a look here at what has been done. The bridge is coming loose. It does have quite a bit of lift. They made a bone saddle for it, and they've made a nice little shim here in front of it to keep it from flopping over since it didn't fit it. The strings were not put on far enough back, so they're failing. You can see the winding starts here, and they've got to come across the bridge here. What we're planning to do is pull this bridge and replace it. It does have an odd spacing, so that was a bit of a challenge. We did find a replacement bridge with no holes drilled in it from Luthier's Mercantile, so I can make the spacing anything that we needed to do, which is going to be this bridge. I've also found that there's a loose brace here indicating from this crack, and if you look at the deflection on top, if we just pull the brace up, a bunch of top changes. So we'll get that taken care of first thing, and we'll see if we can make this lady happy again. So it's a few days later. The brace for the top has been repaired. I made a plexiglass and plywood clamping caul to go underneath the top to support the clamp pressure underneath evenly. Made some fresh plexiglass cauls and padded for the top. The bridge had been fitted and pinned in the proper location so it wouldn't slide. We glued it up and clamped it. Hopefully with just a little bit of cleanup and some extra time in making a bridge saddle for it, we can get this little guy back up and functioning again. So here we are at the end of this repair. The new bridge worked out really well. It was a little bit longer than the original and 1/8 inch wider, so it actually allowed us to cover up some of the previous repair attempt damage. We have a new bone saddle in it. The compensated saddle slot for the new bridge actually improved the intonation of the guitar. It's virtually perfect at this point. I had to do a little fret touch up to get rid of a couple dead frets. A couple things I have to correct. I was told when the guitar was brought in that they had made a bone saddle for it. As it turns out, it was a little cheap plastic 75-cent saddle, which is why they had to add the shims to make it fit the slot, keep it from rocking around. And a side benefit I found, gotta get your humor where you can. I found that the shims that they used, which has actually turned out to be the coolest part of the repair, add some class, was actually cut from a Victoria's Secret credit card. So you gotta love that. The guitar has actually worked out really well. I'm going to get it back to the owner, make her a happy lady. I'm sure the guitar probably functions at this point probably better than it has probably in decades. While not being a truly valuable vintage piece of equipment, it did have a lot of sentimental value, so it meant a lot to her, so the repair was worth the effort. It really only took us about 3 hours to do the work, which works out really well for both of us. And she has a functioning guitar back that she can enjoy now. So I'll be calling her and giving her a heads up. So until next time,